It's bad news for superhero fans after Warner Brothers cancelled the new DC Batgirl blockbuster.
Yeah, the film got a bad reception in early test screenings, but would it have been better received if the lead actor was a man?
Well, there's a question for you.
Batgirl cost £82 million to make, making it one of the most expensive films that's never seen the light of day.
But there's no shortage of female superheroes for Hollywood to choose from. 30% of Marvel and DC comic characters are female.
There's also a strong female audience, up to 52% for some recent blockbusters, but only one of the top 20 highest-grossing superhero films has had a solo female lead. That was Captain Marvel. It made $1.1 billion in the cinema.
Which was a whopping $1.7 billion less than Avengers Endgame, the highest-grossing superhero film of all time.
So the question we're asking this morning, are female superheroes just perhaps not that super? Joining us now, we have film critic Hanna Flint and Wonder Woman superfan Dominique Samuels. Lovely to see you both.
Good morning.
I'm a Wonder Woman superfan as well. I think it's one of my favourite superhero films, and I think is the sort of testament to me that actually you can have a strong female lead, have a great superhero film with a female lead, and it can be great, Dominique.
Yeah, I would agree. I think at the moment, particularly for DC, I think there's almost a crisis of creativity since Discovery Plus collaborated with Warner Brothers. And since then, they seem to have come out with an array of films and series that just quite frankly haven't done very well. Supergirl is also set to be cancelled, Batgirl set to be cancelled, and I think is cancelled. And I think the reason for that is because they seem to be more focused on pushing certain political messages in the form of female characters rather than focusing on the content of the film. Nobody cares about your first trans superhero. Nobody cares about your first Latina lead superhero. What people care about is the content of the film and how it links to the wider comic book narrative. And I think that's the reason it's fell flat with certain fans, quite frankly, not because it's a woman. I mean, let's look at Wonder Woman, massive fan of Wonder Woman. The reason why I love Wonder Woman is because for me personally, she embodied everything that's great about being a woman, being feminine, being strong, being sexy. That's okay. Yet in Wonder Woman 1984, the second film, it seemed all of that was forgotten, and as a result, it didn't do as well.
It's interesting, isn't it? So, Hannah, what do you make of this? You know, people are pointing the finger and saying, well, hold on, when we look back at the female lead superhero films, they haven't been as well received. Is it to do with that, or is it to do with a whole message that's being tied up with it when it is a female lead, as Dominique's suggesting?
Well, I think we've got a smaller number of female-led superhero films to work with. I think there's only been like 10 in the history of female-led superhero films compared to, like, you know, the myriad number of male superhero films. I don't know if we can speak to Batgirl, the quality of that, because it hasn't been released. Seems more of a tax write-off for the people at WB and HBO Max trying to save some money on that. But you know, I think that's
quite a dramatic way to save some money because, of course, the reputation of both the writers, the directors, the lead actress, the other actors in it, that gets rubbished on the fact that the film's never released.
But I think that could be politics within the mergers of, like, old management, new management. I think to suggest that people don't want to see Afro-Latina superheroes or trans characters in superhero movies. I think people who are trans and who are Afro-Latina would like to see those. Wonder Woman has always been a feminist character. That's foundational of when she was invented, you know, years ago. Even in that Wonder Woman, the film, you know, there's a scene where she's about to go into no man's land. They said, no man can go there. And she goes, I am no man. It's very in the foundation of who she is. I think it's interesting that whenever we talk about films being too political, we talk about gender politics. Oh, it's too political when it's female-led superheroes. Politics is, like, political agendas is literally the foundation of every superhero film. You know, Superman was created by Jewish writers, and he ended up fighting, you know, on the page, Hitler before the US ever entered the fray. Post 9/11, Batman and all those series, that was, you know, very much counter-terrorism. Like, we don't talk about this when it comes to male films. We don't worry about the military-industrial complex.
But it's not just female-led films that seem to have this sort of woke modern politics that we have at the moment shoved into it. There's an array of DC and Marvel films that actually do that. Even the two people that directed Batgirl, they also directed Miss Marvel,
which has done amazingly well.
And
it's the highest-rated Marvel series.
It's not actually. That's set to be cancelled as well.
Sorry, where did you read that it's going to be cancelled, Miss Marvel?
Yeah, it didn't do as well, Miss Marvel.
It got 98%. It's the highest rated Marvel series. It's been celebrated. I mean, I don't know if that's been confirmed that it's been cancelled, but
that's what I read yesterday.
Okay. Well, Miss Marvel is an example of showing representation within a Pakistani-American community, talking about Muslim representation. I think if you look broader
But do you need that? Do you actually need that in a film?
But
people don't want to be
if you
lectured
say that, but Captain
when
Marvel made $1 billion
all they're doing is trying to watch a film. Personally, for
if you want a monolithic view of what female superheroes are and that you want them to be hypersexual, you know, get out, wear spandex, that's fine.
That's not what it is. That's not what Wonder Woman did.
She's wearing a skirt, she's hypersexualising she's looking like.
Wonder Woman is not hypersexual.
She is a hypersexualised girl.
She's a woman.
But what's your issue with Captain Marvel then? Because she's covered up and wears...
I think, just to intervene there, we might have to pause because otherwise I know we're going to spend all morning, aren't we, discussing this. But thank you both for your viewpoint. We're just going to put it out because we did a Twitter poll on this to ask, are there different standards for female superheroes? Are standards higher when there's a female superhero involved? And the results of our poll said 34% yes, 66% of you said no.
What do you want? We want a great script. Get a great script, get a great film. Doesn't matter whether it's a female or male lead. Apologies, Hannah used some quite excitable language in the moment to describe the outfits of some of the superheroes. If you were offended by that, we are sorry. We can't use words like that this time in the morning. But it was thoroughly entertaining. Thank you both
very much
for coming in and sharing your thoughts with us.
Do you know what? I think, you know, a lot more people are now going to want to see it. Now it's been cancelled and they know they can never see it.
I think it creates a real buzz for it. If it did get released, it would be a huge cult hit, wouldn't it? I can just see that. Maybe it's that.
Yeah, maybe it's...
a ploy.
Double bluff, we'll find out.